Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see the new you. My name is Coach Erwin Ursua, and you are live streaming from Quezon City, and you are watching Win Within. Happy winning Saturday again, my dear friends. So wherever part of the globe you are right now. So good evening, magandang gabi. Thank you for joining me again here. It's 8:30 again. And tonight is a special show because we'll be featuring a sleep coach. So maybe a lot of you are interested why we are featuring a sleep coach and why we would like people to know more about sleep. Okay. But before that, I would like to, of course, invite everybody, wherever, as I said, wherever part of the globe you are right now, of course, do join us by just putting all your comments, if you have shout outs, and at the same time, also, if you have questions as we go along the way, especially regarding about our topic, which is sleep, and at least, and also, of course, we are featuring right now this topic, sleep, because it's right now there are a lot of problems actually rising up because of sleep deprivation, no? So that is why we choose this topic. Actually, sleep is very important in self-care, and self-care, as we know, is very important for our mental health. And as we know right now, due to anxieties, depression, sleep is also being deprived from these from people who are experiencing these kinds of condition right now. Okay, so friends, just sit back, relax, listen, and do participate, as I've said. And also, if ever you're or joining us right now, just do type also if you're watching live, and also later on if you'll be watching in replay, and at the same time, where are you watching from? So yon, we also want to know where you guys are watching us. Okay, is it from abroad, here in the Philippines, or whatever part of the Philippines? So friends, are you ready now to know who our guest for tonight is? Okay, so winners, I would like to introduce our guest for tonight. Our guest for tonight is the president of Med Alpha Group of Companies. So they are into basically sleep diagnostics. He's also the CEO of MedWorks International Singapore. So our guest, as I've said, is based in Singapore. He's the program director of Snoring and Sleep Disorders Institute of Singapore. He is a respiratory therapist, a sleep technologist. I would like to introduce our sleep coach, Mr. Sleep Coach himself, Vic Nale.
Hello, hello. Good evening, Coach
Hello, good
Erwin.
evening, good evening, Vic. How are you there in Singapore? So
Oh,
how's
everything is good. We are so blessed because Singapore, they have a very good medical facility here. So if we talk about the COVID situation, we roughly have around 57 plus plus, but our death rate is around 28. So basically, we are one of the lowest death rate in the world. So we are blessed to be here. And by the way, it's a pleasure to be here. And thanks for having me.
Yun. And also thank you also for of course definitely for our for letting us you be also here in our show tonight. So Vic, how is it there? Lockdown, how does people roam around right now? Are they free to go outside already? How's the school? You know, how
Oh, well, actually, everything is almost back to normal.
okay.
My kids are going to school, the malls are open, and they're slowly easing up restrictions in Singapore. So the malls are open, you can go and eat in restaurants, but we still uh, do the social distancing for 1 meter apart, and it's really strictly a requirement to put a face mask on.
Face
Yeah.
mask, yeah.
But everything else is, everything. It's free to move around in Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I guess what's important actually is the discipline, and I think in Singapore people are really that disciplined naman, which is actually whenever I go there, whenever I visit you, of course, and of course other friends, I see that policies are really followed there naman. And actually, there are a lot of fines, di ba? Mga fine if ever you did
Yeah.
something wrong. Okay,
Sabi
that's how I know Singapore.
fine seating fine seating.
Yeah, it's a very fine and fine city. Okay,
But
so
okay, go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
so yeah, so Vic, as I've introduced you, of course, you're a sleep coach. Can you please do share us your journey and how did you become a sleep coach? So from college or please
Well,
do share to us your journey of being a sleep coach.
yeah, sure. Well, for a start, I'm actually a sleep patient myself.
Okay.
Uh, that's why I have a special interest in sleep. And my father had a stroke, probably due to sleep apnea. My niece died of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. She died when she was asleep. And then recently, my son, he had his operation because he has sleep apnea as well. So we have a hereditary line of obstructive sleep apnea in our family. So I made sleep as my dream job. But the thing is, what is more alarming is that sleep is an emerging global pandemic. Okay, in fact, it's one of the top neglected human activity, eka nga nila, because a lot of them are taking it for granted. Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would buy expensive and the most updated mobile phones every
Mm-hmm.
1 to 2 years. Okay, whether it's iPhone 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But a few of them basically would really purchase an expensive and comfortable bed.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And to think that we spend about 30 to 40 or even 50% of our life sleeping in bed.
Mm-hmm.
And to add to that, right, you sleep deprivation got worse since
Mhm.
the invention of the light bulb. In fact, because of that, we are the only species on Earth who deliberately deprive ourselves of sleep,
Mhm.
and the effect can be very catastrophic. Because you don't see those cats and dogs hanging around and tell each other, "Hey, come on, let's bark the whole night." Diba?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, as a respiratory therapist and a sleep tech myself, I found that this is probably my purpose in life.
Mhm.
So so it became part of my advocacy to promote sleep awareness. So that's why I'm here, and hopefully I can share some views and help increase the awareness to your viewers why sleep is very important.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's right now. So for those who have just joined us right now, so I'm with sleep coach Vic Nale, streaming live from Singapore. Okay, so do we have some shout outs or greetings there that we can read for joining us tonight? Okay, good morning, guys. Okay, but Don, oh, VD is watching. Okay, from Las Vegas, huh? Okay, and Manuel Valentino from Samar, Philippines. Wow, thank you very much, sir, for watching us tonight. Okay, okay, so as you've said, Vic, no, it's your I guess it's your also passion, and at the same time, yun nga, your purpose. You saw already your purpose that sleeping is your choice in helping other people, making sleep being, I mean, letting other people aware of the benefits actually of sleeping. So, what are basically the positives and negatives of sleep that you can share to us? Because I'm sure there will be some positive, there will be some negative. Can you please expound on that if you can, please?
Yeah, actually, according to the National Sleep Foundation, sleep is one of the three pillars of healthy life. Okay, so the first one is actually good nutrition and diet, and then of course regular exercise. But personally, I think should sleep should be the bedrock of 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 all the pillars, because if you don't get enough sleep, you cannot perform regular exercise, right? And then if you don't get enough sleep, your diet will also be messed up. So sleep can definitely help improve your quality of life. So, for example, let me cite some example for the sleep positive. Why we sleep? Our body needs to sleep because this is our state of restoration and recovery. And when we go to sleep, we don't just close our eyes. Okay, actually, we go through different phases. There are basically two major phases. We have the non-REM, which is non-rapid eye movement, which is further divided into three stages: stage one, two, and three. And then the higher the number, the deeper our sleep. And then the other phase is actually the REM phase, which is the rapid eye movement. So basically, when we go to sleep, our eyes move rapidly. And this is actually our dream phase. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go into deep sleep, which is basically stage N3 and REM to experience a good sleep. And then also when we go to sleep, this is where the growth hormones are being released. That's why when you were young, there's a truth to it when your uh, parents were telling you right after eating lunch, they said, uh, go and sleep so that you grow faster. Or
Mm-hmm.
after eating dinner, they'll ask you to, oh, go and sleep early so that you'll grow faster. Because
So these are not actually myths at all. So these are there's a good reason for it actually. So these are not just myths.
yes, sleep is really important, even for sick patients. Because when you go to sleep, this is where, for example, your worn out muscles and tissues are being repaired. And another truth to it is that sleep is also the key element for longevity, meaning the longer you sleep, as long as you wake up, of course, you will have a longer life. Okay, and obviously, if you don't have a healthy sleep, you cannot think, you cannot be creative, you cannot be more productive. And another thing I've learned, which I should have applied when I was in college, because brain must experience sleep in order for you to learn. Like for example, I'm talking to you right now. I'm talking about sleep.
Mhm.
And we will compare it to a computer. All of this information are just being saved in the temporary drive, which is the RAM drive.
Mhm.
And when you go to sleep, that's the only time it gets embedded to your hard drive. So sleep is basically the save mode,
Mhm.
uh, so that we can remember and put it in our memory box. And when you go to sleep, um, this is the time also where the brain gets rid of those toxic proteins in our head. And maybe for the ladies, sleep makes you look good as well. You know, that's why if you have a good sleep, you look fresh. You know, and
Mhm.
and there's a truth to it when they say, "Oh, I need my beauty sleep." So overall, sleep is an uncompromised biological necessity. Everyone needs it. Okay. Now, when we talk about the sleep negatives,
Mhm.
actually, you have more sleep negatives than positives
Mhm.
because probably due to the current situation that we are having right now.
Mhm.
Because if you lack sleep, this can lead to serious health problems. So, for example, heart attack and
Mhm.
stroke. That's why I mentioned earlier. You know, my father had stroke, and after I became a sleep technologist, that's the only time I realized, oh, we have sleep apnea in our family. It can lead to type 2 diabetes. It can lead to obesity because sleep deprivation basically makes you fat. Okay, when you go
Mhm.
to sleep, uh, if you don't have a proper sleep, right, your body cannot properly metabolize those carbohydrates. And then, if I don't know if you have noticed, pag puyat ka, you
Mhm.
tend to eat more.
You
Okay,
tend to.
eat more.
Okay, yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. That ano no. I know that. It's my coping up mechanism actually before whenever I do lack sleep, what I do is I compensate it by eating that I remember that I do always say. So that is basically one negative effect pala of not having a complete sleep. So yun.
Because you sleep less, you
Mhm.
eat more because ang nangyayari, our body releases this stimulating hormone for appetite, which
Mhm.
is yung ghrelin. That's why
Mhm.
people who sleep less than 6 hours
Mhm.
are 30% more likely to become obese.
Mhm.
Okay,
So
and what
yun.
more if you have other sleeping disorder like sleep apnea? And then, of course, lack of sleep stresses you out because it produces this hormone called cortisol.
Mhm.
And this cortisol is the one that basically wrecks your immune system. That's why during this pandemic, one of the advice was you have to sleep to
Mhm.
strengthen your immune system. And in fact, that's the same hormone also that breaks down your skin collagen
Mhm.
to make your skin more elastic and smooth. That's
Mhm.
why people can instantly notice you if you lack sleep. You know, they will say, "Oh, you look tired. Oh, you look
Yeah,
haggard,"
yeah.
and then it impairs your cognitive. You become irritable,
Mhm.
cognitive, decrease creativity. So basically, there aren't any organs in your body that is not affected if you lack sleep.
Yeah, I guess yeah, I also know that I also know I read somewhere that there's a certain organ of the body that needs to be rested on a certain hour during your sleep time. So I guess you're right. So there really is no organ that is affected with the sleeping patterns that we have on, or yun nga in sleeping. So,
Mm.
Vic, before we take a break, I do have this hanging question to you. So, what are the sleep enemies that you think basically prevents us from winning within? So, yun. So, but of course, you'll just answer that later on after after our break. But before we take our break, do we have some shout outs or questions that we need to read? So okay, this comes from my lovable wife. Hi Vic, are power naps taken during office breaks for 15 to 30 minutes are as beneficial? So yeah, it's a question from
Uh,
my lovable wife. Hi Florence.
well, that depends on how long is your power naps.
Okay.
Usually, power naps are just small sleep, like 10 to
Mm-hmm.
15.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people that they consider like 1 to 3 hours as a power nap. That is not a nap. That is already sleep.
Sleep.
Because the problem with long naps, it disrupts your sleep cycle, which later
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna expound on that further.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because it will push back your sleeping cycle. Okay,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like you say, parang it's like eating. So you
Uh-huh.
have a certain time to eat your breakfast, lunch,
Uh-huh.
and dinner. So if you have a late lunch, you're gonna have a late dinner,
Okay.
right? So similarly to sleep,
So 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 10 to 15 minutes nap is already okay, something like that.
that's why they call it power. On the
That
average, that's what they
on the
do. Yeah.
average. Okay, that's good. So power naps basically 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, any
Yeah.
other questions that we need to read? Okay, thank you. Oh, Apple, hi. Thank you, thank you. And any other? Wow, watching from Indonesia. Thanku Shadika. Thank you very much, sir, for watching from Indonesia. Okay, any other shout out from Singapore? Medworks, I guess MW is Medworks teams. Charles Matthew. Hi, Charles. Thank you for watching us tonight. Okay, again, hello, Vic. Great to have you in Win Within. So thank you. Oh, here's another question from VD. How about jet lags? How can it affect the sleep cycle? So jet lags. I guess we don't experience it right now, but of course we're gonna answer that.
Well, basically, jet lags. This is the another thing that disrupts our sleep cycle because you go through a different time zone, so you have to
Mm-hmm.
adjust. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so again, it has something to do with your cycle. Actually, the cycle is called your circadian rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? When we talk about sleep cycle, this doesn't happen only during nighttime. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the sleep cycle is an entire 24-hour cycle because
Mm-hmm.
during nighttime our brain produces the sleeping hormones, and then
Mm-hmm.
before we wake up, okay, our brain produces another set of hormones in order to prepare for us to wake up, okay,
Okay.
and then once we're awake, our body again starts to produce hormones for us to go to sleep. Now if you go through a different time zone, this cycle basically um, gets affected. But there are ways to help with the jet lags. For one is once you get inside the plane, you adjust your time right
Mm-hmm.
away so
Mm-hmm.
that you know what is the current time to the place that you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know when to sleep in the plane because most of them,
Mm-hmm.
once they get into the plane, they will sleep.
Yeah,
And
they'll
what
doze off all right away. Yeah.
yeah, it's daytime, right? So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing, you also adjust your eating time, and
Yeah.
then once you arrive, for example, in that location, this is a very common because once they arrive there, and then during daytime, they they look at the time. Oh, how come I feel so sleepy? What
Mm-hmm.
do they
Mm-hmm.
do? They close the curtain and
Mm-hmm.
then they try to catch up some sleep. You will never adjust
Yeah.
your your cycle. Okay. In fact, if you arrive there during daytime, expose yourself to the sun.
Sunlight. Yeah, okay, that's
Yes.
right. That's a good tip. Yeah, expose yourself to the sunlight.
Yeah.
And I guess, if you don't do that, it, tendencies you'll have the jet lag, which is basically you're gonna have a headache right away. So and sometimes if you go to a different country, you're just especially if you're traveling, you want to enjoy the scenery right away. So having a jet lag actually will take 1 or 2 days. Sayang naman, di ba, if you do that. So, yun.
Actually, jet lag can last up to 6 days to 10 days.
Yeah. Well, me, it happened to me when I went to Europe 3 4 years ago. I was awake because of jet lag. I was awake for almost 48 hours, so my body didn't adjust right away. I really had a bad headache there back then, and the jet lag, as you've said, it's almost 3 to 4 days it happened to me. Okay,
Mhm.
so thank you very much with that, Vic. Coach Vic, again, when we come back, you're gonna answer already my question, which is, what are the sleep enemies that prevents you from winning within? Okay, so let's have a break. Have a break, and let's be back later on here in Win Within in TNC. Hello, welcome back here in Win Within on TNC. So we're gonna read now our shows. So please watch all our live streaming shows at the new channel. The Big Picture, inspiring stories of notable personalities, Mondays to Fridays, 7 p.m. Human Resource Management on HR Online, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 12 noon. The Family Business is Everyone's Business, Saturdays at 4 p.m. Life Business and Success Stories on the Fourth Project, Saturdays, 10 p.m. Dubai, and 6 p.m. Philippine time. Beauty Beyond What Our Eyes Can See, Usapang Beauty, Saturdays, 5:30 p.m. Time to hear positive stories from those who recovered. COVID Stories, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Life Purpose and Turnaround Stories, U-Turn, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. Build and Own a Property, The Home Buyer, Mondays and Thursdays, 4 p.m. Laugh and Learn from Puppetry Arts Around the World, The Puppet Stories, Mondays, 5:30 p.m. Magbenta, bumili at tumulong dahil bukas na ang TNC Marketplace and Online Night Bazaar, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. Know Your Rights in the Basic Law, YOLA, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Learn about money and more, Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Philippine time and 5:30 a.m. USA. Two leaders in one platform, TNC The Talk, Mondays at 12 noon. Chill and Booze, After Shift, Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Kids dream, achieve, nurture, inspire. Watch Danny Art Show Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Learn together across borders, foreign affairs Tuesdays 10:30 a.m. Because health is wealth, Healthline Wednesdays and Fridays 4 p.m. Celebrate women at work at 9 a.m. Saturdays. Always have an awesome day Mondays at 2:30 p.m. Cybernex empowers people and companies to be secured in a digital world Wednesdays 12 noon. Know the emerging technologies shaping our future with TechU Fridays 2:30 p.m. Catch also our TNC original shows One Day, a live storytelling. It alternates with the TNC Town Hall co-hosted by TNC founders Lloyd Luna and Apple Gonzala, a show where we talk to you, our valued audience. Strategize and win in life, of course, through our show Win Within, Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. And more upcoming TNC shows that will truly inspire you. Please follow our channel on Facebook and YouTube and let us help you see the new you. Okay, so welcome back here in Win Within on TNC. So, Coach Vic, as I've said, our question, what are the sleep enemies that prevent us to win within?
Yes, so sleep enemies. I think by mentioning some of this stuff, I will create my own enemies. Okay, first, enemy number one. Let's talk about coffee.
Wow.
Yeah, I know a lot of people drinks coffee, and we all know that coffee contains caffeine. Okay, but pasintabi lang po dun sa mga nagbebenta ng kape, but you can really significantly improve your quality of sleep if you start reducing your coffee intake. We all know that coffee is a very powerful stimulant, because once we drink coffee, yes, we're on the go, our brain are fully activated. But the other thing that you have to remember that caffeine has a 6 hour life. So which means that in order for you to get rid of it in your body, it takes roughly around 12 to 24 hours. Okay, so for example, if Pedro drank coffee at 8 a.m., around 8 p.m., you still have 25% of that caffeine in your body. So if you drink coffee after lunch or noontime, you probably still be retaining that 50% of caffeine in your body before bedtime. Okay, and the thing is, once you finally fall asleep, okay, the worst is yet to come, because caffeine basically disrupts your quality sleep. It prevents you from going into REM, which is the rapid eye movement, which is our dream phase. Okay, so what happens there is that caffeine disrupts your sleep, and then you wake up the next day with a cognitive and emotional handicap. Okay, and guess what? After you wake up, you feel tired because you're not well rested. What do? You grab another cup of coffee, right? That's why, or let's say, okay, let's change coffee. Let's change it to energy drink, okay, to make you feel more alert. So every day you do this because every day coffee does this to you, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's why I think coffee business is good, because this is what coffee is doing with your body. Now, let's go to sleep enemy number two,
Okay.
which I think a lot of people does this also. Alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean friends with alcohol a long, long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, alcohol is considered as a sedative. They're like sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when I say sleeping pills, I mean anything that sedates you so that you
Mm-hmm.
can go to sleep, whether it's alcohol, Benadryl, Valium, Ambien, and the like. But basically, this things disrupts your brain's natural sleep process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in fact, there were studies and actual feedbacks that if you take sedatives, you will end up with some really strange dream. Okay, because when you sleep, as I mentioned earlier, this is where the harmful toxins, they get rid of all these harmful toxins, and then your brain also organize all your memory. Okay, and with all these sedatives, it interferes with all of these cycles. So as much as possible, try not to go with any alcohol or sleeping pills. I mean, there are other ways to do it, like, for example, cutting down your caffeine, do some meditation, and so on and so forth. So that's why, to make things worse, okay, there are people who drink coffee in the morning, and then nighttime, because they can't sleep, they started drinking alcohol to help
Yeah.
them get to sleep. So what happens? It both of them interferes with your deep quality sleep.
Mhm.
That's why these two are public enemy number one and two.
Number one and two. Okay. Any other
Now,
public enemies?
yes, there's a lot. We are already a sleep deprived society because we are also a dark deprived society. You
Mhm.
know, uh, what I'm talking about is actually blue light.
Blue light.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, most people don't even realize that light impacts sleep. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because in the olden days or during the evolution, right? Basically, that when the sun comes out, that is our natural alarm clock. And then when the sun goes down, then we have nothing else to do but we go to sleep. But now, even when the sun is down, all of this blue light is just almost everywhere. Because when we go to sleep, what do? We take our favorite device, the
Mm-hmm.
sleeping device, which is our mobile phone, our iPad, and computer. All of this emit blue light. Okay, so what happens there? Because blue light, once it's absorbed, it
Mm-hmm.
gets processed in your brain, and then your brain gets confused because your brain will think, oh, it's daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it will prevent you from falling asleep. Um,
Okay. No
because
wonder.
yeah, okay, going back in time again, when we wake up in the morning, right, and get ourselves exposed to sunlight, this blue light basically halts the production of this hormone called melatonin. So melatonin is the one that basically help us go to sleep. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it halts, and then around noontime, okay, the body, because the sun doesn't have any more reduces down the blue light, that's the time our body produces more melatonin. That's why after eating lunch, you feel sleepy because our body is basically starting to release that melatonin. But apart from that, after eating lunch, our body temperature also cools down. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we go through sort of like a siesta mode during lunchtime.
Uh-huh.
Then by the evening comes, okay, this melatonin should be enough for you to go to sleep. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, you pull out your mobile device and there's a direct light. So what happens? Your brain said, "Oh, it's daytime. Let's halt the production of melatonin, so that will keep you awake."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's why technology also plays important role, and which makes it one of the sleep enemies.
Okay.
Um, Another thing is binge sleeping,
Okay.
especially during weekend. Diba?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So this one is very common. We work 5 days in a week, and
Mm-hmm.
then Friday night, right? We say, "Oh, tomorrow's Saturday. I'm gonna sleep until noontime, or I'm gonna sleep the whole day." Actually, this is what we call social jet lag,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, sleeping on the weekend or oversleeping is actually counterproductive way. because everyone thinks you will be able to catch sleep because there's no work. You can maybe during those 5 days you stay up late because you have to finish some projects, and then come weekend you try to sleep all the way. You know? So
Mm-hmm.
that becomes an issue because what happens, you disrupt your circadian rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good because it's weekend, but come Monday, okay, your cycle is already off because it's all messed up. Okay, that's why a lot of people they hate Mondays.
So tell me why I hate Mondays. I don't
Yeah,
it should be I don't like Mondays. So yeah,
yeah.
so I guess you've already mentioned so many enemies, huh? But other are there any other problems that also are common related problems to sleep that you would like to share to us, Vic?
Oh, yes, there are basically around 80 to 100 sleeping disorder.
Okay, so that means we're gonna finish tomorrow, but our slot is only till 9:30. So I guess the
Let's
top
quickly,
ones.
yeah, let me quickly identify the top eight. Okay.
Top eight, okay.
Yeah, so the first one would be those people who cannot sleep during nighttime. So this
Mm-hmm.
is what we term insomnia.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
so I think most of the people they experience insomnia. Some of them may be situational. Somebody died in their family, that's why they cannot sleep. Some of them can be onset insomnia. They're having troubles falling asleep. But basically, this is the top number one sleep related problem. And if you can't sleep, the thing is, whatever happens that night would basically be reflected during the day, you know. So it can really disrupt your performance. And in fact, one important thing there is like when you're driving, driving fatigue. Okay, um, in Canada, for example, there are more people falling asleep behind the wheel than drunk
Mm-hmm.
driving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and drowsy driving is even more fatal than drunk driving. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because drunk driving, um, your reflexes, your reaction gets delayed. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's an accident, you just move slow, and sometimes you manage to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're sleep deprived and you're tired, you have those micro sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you have the tendency to just close your eyes for about 2 seconds. But that can become a micro sleep. And that 2 seconds is, you can already cross to the other side of the road.
Yes.
And there's really a complete disconnection on there. You can't even react. There's no reaction because you totally disconnected to your environment. That's why insomnia is still number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing is that stop breathing at night. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what we call obstructive sleep apnea. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in every country's population, they said it's roughly around 4 to 7% of the total population is affected by obstructive sleep apnea. So what is obstructive sleep apnea? This is when you stop breathing
Mm-hmm.
uh, during nighttime for more than 10 seconds. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens there? Um, your oxygen level goes down, okay, and then your CO2 increases, and then it wakes you up. So it's not just oxygen going down and your heart starts to pump faster, but it causes fragmented sleep, and then this one can lead to hypertension, cardiovascular disease, stroke, even memory loss. That's why there's a direct correlation between Alzheimer's and obstructive sleep apnea. And
Okay.
then, so ito yung, they will start with snoring first,
Mm-hmm. Also, snoring also is one of the.
and then they will pause, right? They will pause,
Yeah.
and then ahagok yan. Right? Sometimes
Yeah.
may kasama pa ano yun, nguya yun. Gag-
Yeah,
So,
oo.
yung
Marami
pause,
akong kakilala ganyan.
yes, yung pause that's the one, that's the killer. Okay, and a lot of people, they don't even know that they have obstructive sleep apnea. Okay, and then another problem is problem number three, snoring.
Snoring. Okay.
Yes, and when we talk about snoring, just for the information of everyone, it happens to both men and women. Okay, because
Mhm.
most of the time the male always get the play. The ratio is actually 2:1. Okay,
Mhm.
20 to 30% of women and 40 to 50% of men snores. Yung women lang, they only start snoring when at the age of 40. So when they're
Mhm.
young, they're sleeping beauty. And then
Yeah.
once they get older, they become sleeping business. And approximately 60% of the people, their partner are basically snoring. So why is this snoring important? Because it can lead to obstructive sleep apnea. Okay. Then another thing is teeth grinding. I don't know if you've seen people teeth grinding. This is what we call bruxism.
Well,
So
I have that before.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So imagine bruxism. You will know because you can see your teeth would be evenly, they're leveled. You know. So the problem there is that your jaw is capable of clenching about 250 pounds of force. So if every night you clench there, it can lead to pain into your temporomandibular joint. Okay, so and then it can cause some nagging headaches when you wake up in the morning, and
Mhm.
then it can be there for permanently. So that's why you have to look into that as well.
Mhm.
Then number five, you have legs moving. Okay,
Mhm.
this is what we call restless leg syndrome. But actually, restless leg syndrome is during daytime. If they carry that over during nighttime, it becomes periodically movement.
Mhm.
So there's no oxygen going down here, but it disrupts your sleep.
Okay.
Okay, and then diabetes.
Oh,
So
diabetes.
what does diabetes have to do with sleep?
Sleeping. Yeah.
Because if you have obstructive sleep apnea, um, this basically promotes insulin resistance and can lead to type 2 diabetes. That's why in some other countries, if you're diagnosed to be diabetic, normally they will send you for sleep tests. Then, of course, hypertension. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it can lead to hypertension. In fact, that's one of the signs and symptoms if you have obstructive sleep apnea. And of course, lastly, those people who sleep anywhere.
Mhm.
What we call narcolepsy. You have
Mhm.
those sleep attacks, nap attacks. Um, Sometimes people they would brag, "Oh, I can sleep in 2 minutes or 5 minutes."
Yeah.
That's already a sign of that they're just sleep deprived.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we call here in that's what we call here in the Philippines, masa. Mga masa, masandal tulog. Okay, okay, thank you very much for sharing those top 8 related no problems to sleep. So Vic, you mentioned a lot of a lot of kumbaga not only problems but conditions, no? And you there in Singapore, of course, you have your sleep clinics there. How about here in the Philippines? Do we have sleep clinics here in the Philippines? Any sleep? I think
Actually,
I need to check one myself.
sure, sure. You're welcome. Well, yeah, we do have sleep centers there. In fact, Philippines, they're lucky because they have more sleep centers there, and then we have a lot of good sleep doctors to help you
Mhm.
out there in the Philippines. And most of the tertiary hospital in the Philippines, they have a sleep center. So don't take sleep for granted. You can go there. There are different levels of sleep tests. That's what we call polysomnography. Okay, so there's level one, level two, level three. Level one is basically hospital based. Level two is can be attended or unattended, can be done at home. Level three, if you just want to assess the severity of your obstructive sleep apnea, you can also do home sleep testing. But right now, because of the pandemic, I think most of them they're trying to do some home sleep testing.
Okay, that's good. So at least there's some there's sleep clinics here. Before that, I think we do have a question. So let's read the question. From Marilyn Galaites. Why some people died while sleeping? We have a friend, his husband and the two siblings died during their sleep. Nabangungot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, there is a lot of reason why they die during sleep, but
Mhm.
one of them is actually can be obstructive sleep apnea because, like I've mentioned, if you have obstructive sleep apnea, it can lead to heart attack. And if you look at the data, most of the heart attack
Mhm.
happens early morning.
Mhm.
Okay, because and if you look at the some studies, the the severity, the most severe obstructions, if you have obstructive sleep apnea, basically happen in the second half of the night or early
Mhm.
morning. Okay, so that's why I myself, like I said, I'm a patient, so I have sleep apnea. If I didn't seek or help myself, I would probably end up, having a stroke or heart attack because I can tell right away when I became hypertensive, you know, and then it runs in our family um, because you can pass it on.
Yeah.
Because last time they said if you're overweight, you're obese, like in the Western world, they're huge. So when they lie down, it's like somebody's strangling them. Okay,
Mhm.
but in Asia, it's a bit different because yes, we're smaller size, which means that we have smaller airway also,
Airways.
and then it's genetic. So we have the same genes. So your kids or in your family, you may have inherited the same anatomical structure.
Mhm.
You
So I guess that also helps. That's why it's better to have as preventive measure, we need to have ourselves checked if we do already feel that we do have the symptoms of sleep problems. So yon, mas maganda to go to a doctor, a sleep doctor, sleep technician, so that they can assess you if what do you need to do like that.
know.
Okay, so I guess we here's another question. For elderly folks like my mom, she's now 80 years old. Their frequent complaint is difficulty in getting sleep or lack of quality sleep. What's your advice for them?
I'm sorry, lack of what?
For those who, old women, frequent complaint of difficulty in getting sleep or lack of quality sleep. What's your advice for them?
Well, again, you have to look into the entire cycle because it can be a lifestyle or it can be some ailment. So it will be good if they will be able to visit a sleep center and because I'm a sleep technologist, but it will be good if they be able to be looked into by a real sleep doctor. But I think you have to check, like for example, the diet and then the rhythm, because a lot of old folks, right, they tend to have additional issues, the old issues like arthritis, rheuma, and so on and so forth. This can bother your sleep, so you may have to try and assess that one first, whether it's really affecting your sleep.
Okay, so thank you very much for answering that, Vic. Um, Yeah, thank you very much for answering that, Vic. Again, we're gonna take a pause for another break, and of course, more of Vic and our sleep coach from Singapore. when we come back. Okay. Okay, welcome back here in Win Within on TNC. So let's call it again, Coach Vic. I think we have a few questions again here, Coach Vic.
Okay.
So okay, from Ipag Elasor, I sleep 8 hours a day, but why do I still feel tired?
Oh, okay. Yes. Um, Again, okay, it's not really the quantity. Okay, we also have to look at the quality of sleep. There are some people that would say, I slept for 10 hours. Why do I still feel tired? Because
Mhm.
probably you had sleep apnea, or probably you have restless leg syndrome, or any other sleep interruption. So these things, you may want to look into your proper sleep hygiene, which later I'm going to provide some tips also.
Mhm.
Uh, for some of them also, maybe they overslept, because every individual, they have their own sleeping time, but on the average, as they mentioned, it's roughly around 7 to 9 hours.
Mhm.
Okay, so later I can provide some of those sleep tips that
Okay,
probably they apply. Yeah.
they can use. Okay, another question. Is there another question that we need to from Anika Laris Nale? Ooh, does one's age play a part in sleep disorder? Is there a variance in symptoms diagnosis between the youth and other adults?
Um, yes, because based on the National Sleep Foundation, right, our sleeping pattern changes as we age. So
Mhm.
basically, if you're um, newborn, you sleep longer, and then as you grow older, it becomes shorter. And then apart from that, the hormones also plays an important role. So, but the question is a bit vague, but
Mhm.
basically, at every age category, there is a proper sleeping time, and then some
Mhm.
of the um, it's all part of the growth. In fact, there's a separate topic for that one as well. For
Okay,
that,
okay.
for the teenagers. You know,
Yes. I guess we can we can have you again here, Vic, for that on season 2. Okay, so another question that we need to read from Rose Sunny Cruz. Is it true that when we snore, we are having a nice sleep?
provided that you don't interrupt your bed partner. So your bed partner is the one that's not having a nice sleep. But again, snoring, right? About 30% of snorer. may have obstructive sleep apnea. So that's why if they're snoring, it's better to get themselves checked just to make
Okay.
sure whether they possess obstructive sleep apnea or any other like diabetes and so on and so forth. Because snoring can also lead to type 2 diabetes.
Yeah. So I guess if you really feel something different already with your sleeping patterns or any sleeping problems that you've mentioned a while ago, I guess it's about time for you to have yourself checked by a sleep technician or sleep doctor. As we said, there are a lot of it is already available here in most tertiary hospitals. You've mentioned a while ago already of sleep tips. So, Vic, can you share already those sleep tips that you were mentioning us? And then I guess after that, later on, you can promote anything that you'd like to promote, that so that people will know about the things that you are doing also.
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier the diagnostic, right? So sorry, I forgot to mention also the sleep therapy options. Like for example,
Mm-hmm.
you need to change some lifestyle changes. Maybe you're
Mm-hmm.
overweight, you need to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, if you're having bruxism, maybe you want to put see a dentist or a sleep doctor so you can wear oral appliance to prevent you from grinding your teeth. And for those obstructive sleep apnea, it's very easy to cure. You have those therapy devices like CPAP, which it's a mask that you wear during nighttime that keeps your airway open. And also surgery. You know, surgery can
Mm-hmm.
help, especially if they're pediatrics. It will surely help them because the kids they don't want to wear mass, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, maybe the surgery would be a good option for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the sleep tips, right? Consistency is key. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you
So
have to
consistency.
yes, you have to maintain a regular sleep routine, especially the waking up. Okay, so waking up and the sleeping time, because this is how you establish your sleep cycle. So there was a question earlier. You said I sleep 8 hours, but during those 8 hours, was it quality sleep? Did you drink coffee? Did you
Mm-hmm.
drink alcohol? If not, were you sleeping regularly throughout the entire week? You know, if you sleep 10 o'clock, you wake up 7 o'clock, right? And every day you wake up 7 o'clock. In fact, you will know if your sleep cycle is good when you wake up even before your alarm clock, because it means that your body has had adapted to it. And
Mm-hmm.
then avoid long naps if
Mm-hmm.
possible, because this can also disrupt your sleeping pattern. In fact, you're not supposed to take naps if you have quality sleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then don't stay in bed awake for 20 to 30 minutes. Let's say, I think it could be related to one of the questions earlier. If they lie down and then they cannot sleep, they've been tossing and turning for 20 to 30 minutes, my advice would be move to another room first, because you have to associate your body that the bed is only good for sleeping. So, for example, if we compare it to eating, okay, we only go to the dinner table when it's already time to eat, right? We
Mm-hmm.
don't sit down in the dinner table and wait for us to get hungry so that we can eat. So, same thing with sleep, because our brain is really very good with the association. And then next is don't watch TV and all those digital emitting blue light devices like mobile phone, iPad, etc. Okay, so this will basically prevent you to go to sleep. In fact, 60%, there was a survey that 60% of the working population, they tend to look at their mobile phone and check for emails before they go to sleep. So what happens there, it stimulates the brain and prevents it from falling asleep. And then drink caffeinated drinks with caution. Sorry, no more sleep anemia. Avoid appropriate drinks like alcohol or sedative, because this will definitely interfere with your sleep. Exercise regularly, have a quiet, comfortable, invest in your bed, and then learn how much sleep do you really need. You know, so those are some of my tips. Are learn to meditate. Meditation will help. Pray, Okay, so yeah, so I think those are some of the key tips that I can provide to all of your viewers.
Oh, thank you very much, Vic. I think you want to promote something, so feel free to say
Well,
something about your.
yeah, I
So
mean,
the kid show the poster now.
yeah, so
There.
we are basically we provide the sleep services. So if you want to get yourself run a sleep test, if you think you have sleeping disorder, we can direct you to a proper sleep doctor, and then we can also do the sleep test for you. So we have sleep centers in Cebu, in Manila, in up north. We also have a sleep center. Also, Manila Med. We also help them run their sleep centers there. Yeah, and then of course we also run some sleep courses. So
There.
for people who are interested to become a sleep technologist, we are really short of sleep techs worldwide. There's only about 30 to 40,000 of us to cater billions of people who have sleeping problems. So we do all these online courses.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So how long usually is the course to be a sleep technologist?
Normally, it would take about 3 to 6 months.
Oh,
Okay,
that so it's really
because
a crash course.
there's sort of like an internship program
Mhm.
that because we have to do proper application mostly. But we provide all these online courses due to the pandemic also.
Mhm. So, but I guess after a pandemic, also like there's also an internship. So there's a hands-on later on, if ever. I think.
Yeah, we have to do hands-on because if you're planning to take, for example, the boards,
Mm-hmm.
some of the questions are practical. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
if one sensor falls off, what are you supposed to do? So it really helps if you do hands-on.
Okay, that's great. So those who would like to be a sleep technologist, you can shift to a new career. So within 6 months, wow, you're already a sleep technologist, and there are a lot of people who have sleep problems right now, and you're gonna really be a big help, and at the same time, you're gonna, diba, earn something. I mean, earn because of a new job, especially if you're thinking of a new career. So Vic, any last few words for our winners, our audience that you'd like to say
Well,
before we let you go?
well, basically, the reason why I'm here, please give importance to your sleep, okay? Because everyone says they want to fulfill their dreams and enjoy life, but let me leave you with this note. You can only enjoy your waking hours if you achieve quality sleeping hours. As the old saying goes, dreams are for those who sleep. You need dream to live so you can win within. So good night and sleep well.
Thank you, Vic. Thank you very much, Vic. See you backstage later. Wow, what a for the very nice parting word from Vic. Okay, so that's Mr. Vic Nale, sleep coach from Singapore. So thank you very much again for joining us. Actually, we've learned a lot about sleep and how it affects people. If we really lack sleep, actually, sleep is part of self-care. And if you don't have self-care, no sleep, your mental health will be affected, and you know what will come after that. Okay, so that's why we are also concerned about sleep. That's why we really made a point to have an episode on sleeping, of course, right now, because many, as I've said a while ago, there are so many sleep deprivation problems that our people are experiencing right now. Um, and so we would like to thank Coach Vic. Sabi nga niya, your dreams in life won't be achieved. Your dreams in life cannot be achieved if we don't have a good sleep, and you will not win, or it's really hard for you to win within if you don't have a good sleep. Okay, so again, thank you very much, our dear winners, for joining us. Wow, we crossed the 1 hour mark tonight. So, but thank you very much. I've learned a lot also from the topic from that we shared tonight, and I guess I do hope you also learned a lot. And see you again next Saturday, 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. here in Win Within on TNC. So we are here to help you see the new you. So if you want to discover more on how you can win within, of course, you just give me a PM in my Facebook account. I'm also in Instagram, okay, at Erwin_Y_Ursua, and also in LinkedIn. Just look for me, Erwin Ursua. So if you want to ask something, or if you want me to help you to your journey in winning within, let me be of help and let's talk. So again, with that, I'd like to end with this, which I always say: in your life journey, in whatever state you are in right now, you are worthy to win in life because you can always choose to win within. So be a blessing and be blessed, my dear friends. Thank you very much again for staying with us tonight and for being with us. And promise you another good episode next week, next Saturday. So please do join us again here in Win Within on TNC. God bless you all. Night.